Hi, I'm Johnny from JC Installs, and we've been contacted by our friends at A&E Construction to secure one of their sites. So just a little bit of info about how this system is connected and put together. In the containers, we have the broadband connection, which gives us internet for the site. And then we have the main power there, which is then fed out with some armoured and ducting that comes from there over to post number 2, which I'll show you in a minute. But over here, we have our main power coming in, which is on a fuse spur, which is feeding the UPS, which is effectively a big battery that should stop the power going off to the switches in the event of a power loss. And then we have our connections to the different cameras and posts, which are all labelled and numbered. So we can also monitor this remotely, as we can also the UPS, which we can tell when we get a notification, see whether it goes on or offline. And also we can monitor each of the cameras individually from this network switch here. Now from here, we've then got armoured cat cable and power that also goes down through the ducts all the way along underneath to the far post. And over there we have a PoE injector for the PTZ. And then we have a PoE switch, which is then powering the other smaller cameras on that post there. It actually did start to rain when we were up here, so just making sure that no water goes in the post, because we've got a network switch and a PoE injector mounted into the post at low level. So we already pre-terminated the Cat6 cable, and hopefully that will save us some time. Just push some of that slack down in there. You'd think it's a hollow post that the cable just folds its way back in, but it doesn't. Right, we'll get these out. These are the 6 metre posts that have been installed, and that's 6 metres out the ground. So obviously to do this at high level on ladders would not be the most stable way to do it. So that's why we're in the basket. And we are just going to try and get the swan neck on now. Up through the swan neck. I'm hoping it's going to just feed through. On the last one, where are we? It's not good. It's not. Oh. Yeah, we put a drawstring on the other one. Right, let's see. Come on. Come on. Hey. Right. Now, we'll get this on top of there like that. Which angle? Oh yeah, I think actually, do you know what? He was talking about maybe mounting it more this way, so that we get a little bit of so this can spin round, can it? Yeah. So that we basically want the front of the camera kind of that way, but it just so that it gives us a little bit more clearance from the trees. So I think that's probably good right there. So we ran into a little bit of an issue because this tree's got a TPO on it, and it's restrictive to the coverage of the camera. So we don't know, I mean, what we can cut off, or if we can cut any of the branches off. So we're just pivoting the swan neck slightly over, so it just clears the tree and gives us a good view of the entrance and the driveway. So much easier when you've got the right tools. That is lovely. Right, now we're feeding this by a PoE++, so it's got some voltage going down there, albeit low voltage, but just to protect it from moisture, we're going to put the gland on, which secures into the camera, and that keeps it watertight. Just get that on there. I like these black ones. Most of them are white, but the black one actually looks nice, especially with the black cable. Not that anyone will see it. Right, then we'll tighten that up. And what's good is if we just get that makes life so much easier. Right, now that's hooked on, that's not going anywhere. Let's just clamp this on. He says, there we go. And we'll get this connection in. These do come with a power supply, like a mains power supply, but I tend not to use them only because they are big and bulky, and also you need a mains feed to feed the transformer. So the way that we've done this is we've got a PoE++ switch which has got enough power and juice to feed it just from a single Cat6 cable, which works really, really well and is much neater on the installation. There we go. We just need to get this tightened up. That is lovely. Right, so we just need to secure, if that's, so this is the panoramic camera, and this gives like a full 180 perspective, so it gives a really wide angle level of coverage. It's also got strobe lights in there for detection, so you can set it up or set an area of intrusion up, and when it's detected you'll get the strobe light from the camera. And then these are the IR lights, and you've also got your wiper, which is really handy in case you get water on the lens. It's also got a strobe, and it can give audio announcements and obviously move and do smart tracking as well. So it's a pretty cool camera. On the site we've got 3 of these, and I feel that that is a good level of coverage for a site this size. This is a UniFi ANPR camera that we've mounted on the post, and this is facing the entrance to the property. And the reason we've used this camera is because of the AI intelligence and also the customer user-friendly functionality of the app. So using this camera, it has vehicle detection recognition. It also has the number plate separate from the vehicle itself, and then also has facial recognition. We found this to be a really good application for this job, over and above other cameras that we've used in previous instances from the user's perspective. So it's got built-in AI, and also from the app gives you access to all the videos and snapshots of anyone entering the property. This can also be linked to the access control, which we'll install at some point, and can allow access via the number plate recognition of this camera here. This is what we'd call a static camera because it's not movable, and it also doesn't zoom in or zoom out. So this is a bullet style camera, and we've used this as we feel this is the best application to give long, clear coverage, especially at night. These cameras are amazing. So they have the ability to see in full color at night, and effectively with security, it's the images you want to see really clearly at night time. A lot of the cameras in the daytime look very similar in terms of imagery, but it's when the light conditions change that you'll really see a difference in the quality of the camera. This also has built-in audio, so it can pick up on sound in the area, and also has a strobe and siren if the intrusion detection area is triggered. And that's what we're using to keep an eye on the perimeter for the level of coverage and the area that we're trying to cover. This is one of 3 6-meter posts that we've installed around the site to protect the property. At the top, we're using a swan neck to mount the PTZ that has a panoramic view to give a wide coverage of the area we're trying to protect. We also have 2 static bullet cameras that are mounted left and right of the post to give clear coverage of the perimeter on this side of the property. This is the JCB and the basket that we've used to get up there safely. We also used the ladder and the standoff yesterday when we were installing the bullets. This is a temporary security unit, and these are normally deployed on a site where there's no power and also no internet. So what this has the ability to do is it has a 4G SIM in it and also is battery operated, and that will give a monitoring station access to the site if there's an intruder. But this is a temporary solution, and what we've installed is effectively a solid professional system that is an upgrade from this temporary solution here. One of the cool cameras that we installed is on this barn. There's activity of what we thought was a barn owl. So Anthony asked us if we could put a camera inside the barn to keep an eye and see what type of activity is in the barn and if it is a barn owl. We've used a bullet camera, I don't know if you can see, and we've mounted it right up there on the apex, and basically the owl has full ownership of this building here, as you can see from the activity on the floor. And we've turned the compensating light off, so obviously it doesn't disturb whatever bird it is up there when it's residing in its barn. So I think we actually got some activity off the bird last night, so we'll show you that in a second. This is our server rack, which is holding the MBR, PoE plus switch, and also the Dream Machine console, which has the software in it, allowing the customer to have access to the images caught on the ANPR camera. So we've got the UniFi Dream Machine, UniFi PoE switch, and we've got 16-channel PoE MBR from Hikvision. We also have an APC at the bottom is a UPS, and this will keep this rack and the router powered for a period of time in the event that there is a power loss or power cut on the site. So we've installed an UPS here. We've also installed a UPS at one of the cabinets on post 2, which will then keep power to those cameras also in the event of a power cut. What that also allows us to do, it means that if there is any interrupted power, we won't have to reset everything as long as the power's not for a long duration of time. It's not finished yet, and we've still yet to tidy it up, but you have an idea of the equipment that we've installed and where it's going to reside in a lockable cabinet. So this is just a portion of what we do. A large portion of what we do is security. We also do lighting and AV, and we also do a lot of networking stuff as well. So this is one of the sites that I hope you've been able to see the level that we work to, the type of equipment that we use, and the type of care that we go to making sure that sites are secure. So if you have a project that's similar to this in size and it needs securing, or you want us to come and take a look at it, then feel free to reach out to us.